You need to find you someone.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We have our guest host this morning, Tiffany Cross and Angela Rye. And let's get in some front page news. Now, NFL, over the weekend, of course, playoffs. Jaguars take on the Chiefs. The Giants will wash the Eagles.
Boy, are you confident?
Bills take on the Bengals, and Cowboys take on the 49ers.
You're supposed to be confident, but I don't see the Giants beating the Eagles. And you don't really believe that either. But you're supposed to root for your team. They gave you a helmet this week too.
They gave me a helmet this week.
That's
Eli's calling in this morning. Yes.
Okay. Congratulations.
What else we got, Miss Rye?
So mad. I don't care about any of this because my Seahawks lost. But anyway, what I do care about is the 50th anniversary of Roe versus Wade. There is a rally in Tallahassee, Florida that Madam Vice President Kamala Harris will be joining this Sunday to commemorate the anniversary of Roe. And sadly, as you all know, the Supreme Court, of course, reversed that really important decision for women with the Dobbs decision last summer, Dobbs versus Jackson. But speaking of Florida and going backwards, Ron DeSantis is at it again.
Oh, God.
So Ron DeSantis is blocking the College Board's African American Studies AP curriculum. He's claiming that it violates Florida's new Stop Woke Act. Y'all know what Stop Woke means?
Yes.
This is
What does it
stupid.
mean?
I do hate wokeness, though. I think that
Shut
a lot
up.
of these woke people need to get a nap. They need a nap.
But the way they're using woke is not the way you're using woke.
Here's the acronym. Stop the Wrongs to Our Kids and Employees Act. Now, do you really think that Ron DeSantis cares about stopping the wrongs to the kids and to the employees? Come on now. So, at first blush, this sounds like something we should all agree on, right? Until you get clarity on how they defined wrong in this bill. Stop Woke proponents have a dangerously broad definition
What is it?
of critical race theory, which, by the way, is not a bad or negative thing. I took critical race theory in college. It helped me to understand color blindness actually can be racist. And for example, this administration is challenging this course on the grounds that it violates the act. And in the letter to the College Board, it says, as presented, the content of this course is inexplicably contrary to Florida law and significantly lacks educational value. And further, it states, in the future, should College Board be willing to come back to the table with lawful, historically accurate content, FDOE will always be willing to reopen the discussion. Now, I want y'all to know, when I was in high school, there was an AP European history class, right? They have
Otherwise known as history.
Right. How about that? You talk about Asian history, all these things, but all of a sudden when it comes to an African American studies class, that's going to violate it?
Right. Yeah. It sounds to me like he wants white people to continue teaching our kids the BS black history they've been teaching us in schools.
Yeah.
No, or BS history they've been teaching us in schools, to the point about George Washington having wooden teeth in his mouth, about slavery, like Kanye, slavery was a choice, right? Like all of these Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That dude was lost.
Right.
That's how folks got called Indians.
I mean, the last time we talked about Florida, Charlamagne, you know how I feel about Florida.
Yes.
So this is very consistent.
That is true.
I think that the scary part of this is DeSantis is widely considered the front runner of the Republican Party. So the more obnoxious he can be, the better it is for his base. This class that he's trying to cancel, it doesn't just focus on black history. It teaches history. It teaches culture. It teaches politics. It teaches geography. So the baffling thing is, why you want your kids to be dumb? You know, you literally want your kids to be dumber than my kids. And I think the larger subtext to this is, it is hard to talk about the system of whiteness to white people when you have people in positions of power who value white feelings more than they do truth, fact, or our very lives. And Ron DeSantis is the poster child for that kind of BS. And if we don't stop him, because Florida, I mean, it used to be a purple state, now it's pretty much solid red. But I think if somebody does not stop these kind of draconian policies, that we're going to see it cast a dark shadow over all American education. So
I would like to see what he considers acceptable black history to be taught, acceptable African American history.
Oh, probably the way that they whitewashed Dr. King, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Like
That's
Martin Luther
it.
King,
That's it.
Malcolm X, and
They're
that
like,
was
they're
it.
like,
No, they're not going to give you no Malcolm X.
They gave us Malcolm X in school. They gave us a little bit of Malcolm.
Not in Florida.
Oh, not in Florida.
They ain't not going to give you.
Did you have a black history
They'll give
teacher?
you DMX in Florida before they give you Malcolm X.
No, this is an important question.
In high school?
Yeah, did you have a black history teacher? No? And you
No.
still had a teacher that taught you
Are
about
you saying
Malcolm
a
X?
black history teacher
No,
or
like a black teacher who was teaching you history.
No.
Context, though. He went to school in Queens. Queens is right here. New York, Harlem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No.
you're not
But I
gonna
went to
learn
Catholic
Malcolm.
school, so we didn't get that. We just learned Malcolm X, Martin Luther King,
But it's still New York is what I'm saying.
Rosa Parks, that was it. But then I went to Hampton, and then it was all in the Hampton. We dove into it, but in New York, middle school we learned a lot, but high school we didn't.
Yeah, they're not gonna tell you about Marcus Garvey. They're not gonna tell you about Denmark Vesey. Like none of that's gonna happen.
No. It was Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and Little Malcolm X.
That probably is what DeSantis wants. Just Martin Luther King. Keep it to the king.
No, really. And they've used Martin Luther King's legacy to say that he wouldn't have even supported affirmative action because he wants you to be judged by the content of your character. So this is a problem. Stop woke that. Maybe you need Ron DeSantis to go to sleep since you want wokeness to be sleepy.
I'm going to vote for Ron DeSantis in 2024 just to piss you off.
No, you're not. All right.
So silly.
And that is your front page news. Did you hear about the New York City police officers that was having sex in the car in the parking lot?
I did hear about that.
So they were having sex in the parking lot. A neighbor heard a woman yelling. So she called the police.
For help. So that man
she thought the woman was
work.
screaming for help. Yeah. So the police come down there, and it's the police department parking lot, and 2 police officers were having sex.
Your tax dollars.
They both got suspended. Yeah, they both got suspended.
Hard at work. No pun intended.
That man was putting in work. Hard at work.
That sound like you ready for Freaky Fridays.
Jesus.
Right on cue.
All right.
Great. They thought the woman was screaming for help.
That's right.
Damn, mind your business.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. It's a Friday, so hit us up now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Hi, Eddie.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got our guest hosts, Tiffany Cross and Angela Rye, joining us this morning.
Hey.
Let's get in some front page news. And Eli Manning will be checking in a little bit.
Cares,
of course, he's
bro.
the ex-quarterback of the New York Giants.
Nobody cares about Eli Manning anywhere other than New York.
Two-time Super Bowl champion. Yes, he'll be checking in a little bit.
Nobody cares, bro.
Everybody cares.
Cowboys got a black
We
quarterback.
don't care.
I would have cared if it was about the Seahawks. I don't care.
I just don't follow football.
All right, well, let's get into some football. All right, now the
Just told you she don't care.
I gotta tell everybody what the game is. As the Jaguars taking on the Chiefs tomorrow at 4:30. My Giants will bust the Eagles' ass tomorrow at 8:15.
Well, you
the
sound
Bengals
ambitious.
take on the Bills, and your Cowgirls will be taking on the 49ers Sunday
Don't
at 6:30.
misgender people.
Oh, that's good
Why
for
you
you.
misgendering people?
That's good, Leonard.
Okay.
You follow that.
Whoa. All right, now,
follow that.
Miss Tiffany Cross.
Yeah, all right.
Continue.
I'm going to get into it. So I told you before the break that Biden is rumored to announce his re-election plans after February 7th. Now, before we get into do we think Biden should run again, on the flip side, there's the Republican candidate, Trump. People are saying don't count him out, but he might be the only candidate that Biden can beat. Here's the thing. Evangelicals largely support him. When we say that, though, the white is often silent because I think a lot of us grew up Southern Baptist and a lot of black folks consider themselves evangelicals, but in the press, it's exactly. So the interesting thing about the evangelicals is only 30% or so actually go to church. So I'm confused about how you call yourself evangelicals, and a lot of the beliefs and policies they support are not very Christ-like, which leads me to a church actually doing something right. Angela and I were talking about during the break. In England, the Church of England is actually investing $100 million into a reparations fund, essentially, because they heavily invested in a company that transported slaves. Now, as you know, Envy, Angela, Charlamagne, and I were in Ghana over the holidays, and I'm going to tell you all.
Did you go to the strip club with them?
No, I did not.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But happy to talk about strip clubs for sure.
Okay.
It is Freaky Friday after all.
Hey.
But the looking at how that the brutality of the way white people beat the humanity out of us and beat this Christianity into a people that did not know that religion, and how they it was like perverted how they did it. They actually had a church on top of a dungeon where people were essentially left to die. And we were on that tour together. It was so heavy. I think all of us probably shed tears. So coming back to this country and hearing even the term evangelical and seeing some of these people purport to be Christ-like and purport to be loving while upholding white supremacy, it's just kind of disgusting to experience on the heels of that. So even the democracy itself, it's like this wasn't built for
God,
us.
but people down in the dungeons being tortured and
But
dying.
you
Literally
were
left to
saying
die.
Church of England is doing $100 million fund. We, of course, talked about the reparations plan that was presented in San Francisco yesterday. I mean, there are moves getting made, like, across the globe. And I think that that's something that we should be looking forward to. Like, is there really going to be something that creates some type of equity after everything that our people have experienced in this country and throughout the world? Every slave ship didn't come to America, right? And that's the thing that we've got to remember. So I think this is a big deal.
The unique thing, though, about this, that America, like the slave trade enriched the UK, but they shipped their enslaved off. America has the unique story of building this country, and the rape of black women and how that upheld this country as a superpower. In the UK, black people can't really say, well, we built this country. They just enriched it. And so there is this belief that well, maybe black Americans just don't try as hard among some other black people in the diaspora, and it's like they don't understand living in and under a system of white supremacy that has been crushing to us economically, spiritually, mentally, morally, and even when it comes to justice and politics and policy-wise. So the beautiful thing about it is having these conversations, open conversations. Because Ghana, I really felt like in Ghana, I don't know if y'all felt this way, but I felt like people were like, what y'all doing over there? Like, come home. Like, come. Like, they made it so easy for citizenship. And I mean, if we're talking about
in Ghana, I thought you meant back here. People are like, come back home. Why you go there? Got it.
Right. They were like, come here. And if you think about it, if this $100 million, I think if you can prove your ancestry connects to Ghana, that these funds, America too, it should be, we'll give you $300,000 to come over here and build and set up a land and build that democracy instead of upholding the white ghetto trash we have here on Capitol Hill.
Don't y'all think it's ambitious of Biden too to be announcing his future plans?
I was going to ask you, do you think he should be tested? Do you think he should be tested before he's able to announce that he should be able to run?
Tested for
what do you mean tested?
For what,
Dementia.
Well, how come nobody? I don't understand.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Why, I mean, are you suggesting that have you seen something that suggests that he has dementia?
Yes.
I saw him talking to a ghost.
Yeah, he was talking. He was talking to the ghost. He forgets a lot. There's times where he looks confused, doesn't know where he's
Did you
walking.
see him in the church the other day?
They write things on his hand and on napkins,
well, that
so
was a
he
black
knows.
church, and
I write
was a bit
stuff
out of his
on
element.
napkins.
But he writes things on napkins like "leave after this," "look left," like
The man was singing "Happy
that's so-
Birthday" to
you
somebody
guys-
and forgot the person's name.
Yes, like
That's normal too.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's very
I
normal.
think that happens.
Let me say this about the leave after. That's a staffer passing him a note, and I'll tell you this for a fact. Like Capitol Hill, we have to do all kinds of things to our boss, like write in big letters to our boss, time to go, you got to go vote. They sound very basic to people that run every aspect of their lives. You getting baptized on fire with this right now.
But he spoke to a ghost. He spoke to a person that wasn't there.
And when they gave him the directions when he was leaving, it said up, left, down, select, star.
Okay, well then let me ask you
This is
this:
silly.
Would you
This
rather
is
have?
silly. This is silly.
But then let me ask this: Would you all rather have Biden with dementia or Trump with all of his issues?
They two wings on the same bird. That's how I
disagree.
feel.
I disagree.
Well, if the bird is America, sure.
And I don't know
Both
why
presidents.
And I don't know why y'all sleeping on Trump like Trump can't win, because y'all know that Republicans gonna get
he
behind
could,
whoever
or
is
even
the
worse,
candidate.
DeSantis.
I don't think that any of us are sleeping on anybody. I think the reality of it is we engage a lot in saying, oh, it's just as bad. People did this to Hillary Clinton when she was running in 2016.
Yeah.
It was, the lesser two evils.
Could y'all be honest for a second? Y'all don't want Biden to run again. Y'all would much rather have somebody.
Who would you like to see run?
I don't know, but I know y'all don't want Biden.
I really want to see what the slate is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what we're talking
Exactly.
about.
Yeah.
We keep having
But
this
that's the-
imaginary
I think he needs to be
conversation.
That's the point. You want to see it.
I don't
You want to
need
see
him.
other
Who's
options.
gonna
Here's
primary
the thing.
Biden?
Envy, you're talking about you want to see him tested. What's his name? Should have had a mental evaluation before he was President
agree.
Trump, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
that's the kind of testing that should be done. We have to go through a character and fitness test for to be lawyers, and they're running. They're literally the highest office in the land. No
You're right.
testing. So yeah, there should be testing.
And the only reason I
know
say
we're
that
over.
is if he doesn't understand what's going on and he's asking so many questions, who is running this damn country then?
There's a whole staff. There's a whole cabinet of people. There's a
It's
vice
not a monarchy.
I know
You
it's not a monarchy,
there are
but-
plenty of people who are in decision making.
And I don't think it's fair to say like he's not aware of what's going on. I'm sure he has his moments. You know, my dad
He
is
has
80
his
years
moments.
He's the
old.
president. You got it.
But he's the president.
at all times.
He does know what's going on at all times.
I don't believe
Yeah,
that.
all right.
That man
Okay.
ain't know that
All
woman's
right.
name when he was singing "Happy Birthday."
Y'all
That's
sound
right.
like you've been
He talked to a
working
ghost.
for watch
You know what? Open the phone line.
Yeah.
What do you want to
Let's
talk
talk to the people. Let's talk to the people.
about Biden?
That's right.
All right.
I
800-585-1051.
2020 was.
Let's talk about President Biden.
2016.
Do you think he should run again?
I think it's a little ambitious.
Do
When
you
you're that
think-
age, you should enjoy the moment. 2024 is a
But you
long
ain't putting
time
up no
away.
other candidate. You ain't got no roster.
I did. Ron.
Ron who?
In
DeSantis?
Florida.
Yo,
you want Ron DeSantis
He
to
wants to
win?
get jumped today. 800-585-1051. It's a Friday. Let's talk about President Biden. Do you think he should run again? Do you think he should be tested for dementia? Do you think he has dementia? Let's talk about it.
Why are we
Okay,
talking
no.
about that? Should not be the call line.
Yeah, this sounds like
It's a simple
conservative Fox News outlet segment.
It's just a simple question. Do you think he should run again?
All
That's
right.
all.
Let's
It's
talk
just
about
a
it.
simple-
That question is fair.
I don't want to
I
get
want to
jumped
know
in
who
here.
their candidate is.
That's a good question.
Like, if you don't want him to run, who you putting up?
Yeah, precisely.
Put up or shut up.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.